Today's episode of the Read Pile is brought to you by Audible.com. Get a free audiobook download and a 30-day free trial at www.audibletrial.com/nerdupmedia. Over 150,000 titles to choose from for your iPhone, Android, Kindle, or MP3 player.
I'm Elle, and I am ready to admit I have a McRib problem.
And I am the sus man, Rick Sussman, and I am ready to admit that I love getting free shirts. And you are watching the Read Pile.
It's the week of November 12th, and here's some comic book news.
Whee! Comic book news. Not really. Okay, so real quick, there was an extended release trailer for Age of Ultron. We know Age of Ultron is coming. Thank you. Convergence has more news. We realize Convergence is not that. The big news, as far as we're concerned, is that we have swag. We've been talking about it. Here it is, swag. Nerd Up Media swag. This is our official Nerd Up Media gear. You can go to nerdupmedia.com/shop and you can find our awesome shirts. You can buy them. It'll contribute to our programming. We still, of course, have it. Probably popped up by now. But the little promo with Barbershop Window. You can always go visit our friends there. But the big news is that we have swag. We have business cards and we have swag. Clearly, Nerd Up Media is legit.
Totally. We even own the domain to the site.
It's not like a WordPress or a Blogspot or nothing.
No.
It's big news.
Good stuff.
Little bit of news. Little bit of news.
Okay.
I have news for you specifically. I don't think you know this yet.
Oh no.
Oh no, it's good. It's good news.
Is it?
There is a 2-part miniseries entitled Nightwing and Oracle that is going to be going on during...
It's called Sexy Time.
In fact, yes.
Woo!
In fact, yes. It's called Nightwing and Oracle. It's going to be going on during Convergence, which is DC's "We're moving from New York to LA and we can't produce comics for 2 months" book.
Yeah.
Nightwing and Oracle, about them being married.
Sexy Time.
I'm going to let you guess who's writing it.
It better be Gale.
It is Gale.
Oh, snap.
Your
It's going to
thoughts?
be fantastic.
Okay.
There's going to be a lot of butt shots in Nightwing.
Are you okay with that?
I'm okay with that. Gale Simone. We need rump views of Nightwing.
Now, we do have 2 very substantial read
You
piles.
could just drop a pin.
Jeez.
Like, no, I'm just saying, like, you could drop a pin, like, in every... No?
Okay. We have very substantial read piles to get to this week, so we're going to jump right to comic book reviews.
It's that time. Comic book reviews. Believe it or not, I have 4 books to talk about. Yes, 4. It's amazing. I know. Insane. We're going to start with Outcast. It was alright. Here's the thing. I kept telling myself, I gotta love this. I gotta love it because it's Kirkman. It's gonna be wonderful. We're on issue 5 right now. And I'm just now starting to see some interest in this kid that can help those who are possessed. And it's at the very, very end of the issue. Of course. But that is just, it's upsetting me because that makes me bounce back and forth. Okay, well, if it took 5 issues to really get my attention, then why do I want to continue? Is it just going to be dragged out even more? I don't know. I'll be surprised if issue 6 pops up on the read pile again. Well, I guess we will have to see. I'm going to simmer on it. I'm going to move on. Talk about some more fun stuff. Alex and Ada. Beautifully written. Absolutely beautifully written. Just to simplify it, it is a book of any real relationship between 2 people that truly love each other. And they are strained. If you read the last issue, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And they're having to fight against their feelings between each other. They're also fighting against the world. Just what people think of them. And it's things that they are having to go through, especially emotionally, is just absolutely beautiful and amazing to read. And of course, you know, at the very end of the book, there you go. You see a hint of things that are about to crash down again on them. And you just, that feeling. So yes, of course, I will be continuing to read this, and I strongly recommend anybody, everybody, pick it up. Check it out. Wonderful. Speaking of wonderful, The Life After. This issue I felt was kind of a feller. It was still very well written. And Hemingway is still hilarious, great. He's got his little things about him. And we're finding a little bit more about this kid that has such an effect on these worlds, realities that they are in of life after. And we're starting to open some doors and see who he might be, what he can do, what he's capable of. We're finding out a little bit more. Didn't move as quickly as the other issues, but we're tugging along and still have my interest. Speaking of interest, pick of the week. Don't roll your eyes. We all know what it is. Batman. Oh my god. Snyder, you are amazing. You know how to write anything and everything Batman. Not just Batman, but anybody in Batman's world, you're able to just perfectly write about. It's, I'm going to read a little caption for you. Each pod contains microscopic red suns collected from dead solar systems with the aid of Dr. Ray Palmer. Think about that. Awesome. So you got, well, it's not a spoiler. If you didn't read last issue, it's your problem. So, Batman, Superman, fighting. Who's gonna win? You'll see what happens in this issue. And of course, this is not a spoiler. If you are ever on the internet, you know, Joker, there he is. But the way that they bring him back is pretty fantastic. It caught my surprise. It surprised me. I didn't know it until it happened. It caught me by surprise. And the little story at the end of the book, I like it. This little side story, I'm sure there's going to be more to it when we get to the end of that one, because it always is. Snyder knows what he's doing. If you're not reading Batman, you're crazy, you don't know what you're missing, and you need to hop on board right away. In the meantime, we're going to see what Rick has to say.
Alright, Elle, thank you so much for those reviews. As always, a splendiferously wondermental job. We're making up words this week on the reviews. And if we're going to make up words, let's begin with Dynamite! Dynamite! That's one word now. That's the word I made up. And that describes Black Dynamite's last issue. It's a 4-issue miniseries. It happened. Here's the problem. The first 3 issues were all like part of a connecting storyline, and then the 4th issue was a standalone. So I don't know why a 4-issue miniseries required a 3-issue miniseries and a one-shot. But whatever. It was fun. It was silly. It made me laugh. It made me cry. It made me think of ways to die. The facts of life. Moving on. Justice League United. Zoom. As I always mention with Justice League United, Jeff Lemire writes really good stories. This is another continuation of the Ultra story. We also are continuing the storyline that we started during the annual with the Legion of the Superheroes being a part of it. It's good stuff. Crazy, pseudo-evil Hawkman is there. It's a good book. It's a superhero book. It is your prototypical super-powered comic book. And that's fine. There's nothing wrong with it. It's perfectly good B+ material. Might never be the pick of the week, but it's always going to be on my read pile. leads us to a bit of a shocker book. One that wasn't initially on my read pile this week, but I discovered it while I was sort of milling about my local comic shop. And I opened it up, and I sort of fell in love with the imagery inside of it. Nick Klein is the artist for this book. It's written by Ivan Brandon, and it is called Drifter. And this is the first issue of Drifter, number 1. Very similar to Copperhead, very similar to Firefly, very similar to any kind of space western, which is very much in vogue right now. This guy crash lands on a planet that he is obviously not a kin to. He has trouble breathing. He kills the first thing he comes in contact with, kind of incidentally, because he was sort of dying himself. And then there's a lot of other things going on, and it's all very good and very fun. What really made the book stand out to me, though, was the fact that it was so natural feeling when I read it. Like, I opened it up, and the pages just moved very easily for me. And if I'm quite honest, it could have easily been my pick of the week, except for one thing. Here comes the graphic! It's pick of the week time, and it is Wytches, number 2. We might as well just refer to the show as the Snyder Pile on certain weeks. Team Snyder Pile, I suppose. Because Scott Snyder, he just gets it, man. I read Batman as well. I couldn't agree with Elle more. That issue was phenomenal. The Return of the Joker was something really, really good. Which is the second time the Joker has returned in Snyder's run, and both times they've been completely different, but amazing. On to Wytches. You like scary movies? You like movies that creep you out? Wytches does that. Wytches proves that a comic book can not just stay in its own medium, it can expand into all forms. And by the way, Jacques needs to be congratulated for amazing artwork. His artwork fits this story as well as Rob Gilroy's fits John Layman's Chew. Sometimes you have artists and writers who just bleed so perfectly together. I know Greg Capullo and Scott Snyder work well together. Well, maybe Scott Snyder just works well with everybody because Jacques gets it. This book made me cringe. It made me physically go uncomfortable. I was reading it, and it was invoking genuine emotional responses. I read Wytches, and I feel like I'm watching a movie, which is ironic since it just got tapped to be a movie, but it makes you emote as you read it. And that is the kind of book that you always want to read. It's the kind of thing that makes you stand up and take notice. After the book ends, and you can feel your skin is crawling, or maybe completely separate, you feel elated after having read something. In this case, it's just, I felt my skin crawl as I read it. Jacques' artwork starts deteriorating while all the imagery gets worse and worse and creepier, and it all comes together for a dynamite last image. And in the final image of the book, somebody's getting their memory is they're getting hit with some kind of crazy powder, and maybe their memory's getting erased. We don't know, but it feels like that as the reader. You feel that emotion, and that is why it is a damn good book and my pick of the week. For you, our loyal followers of The Read Pile, we have an awesome offer from Audible.com. Audible is offering a free audiobook download with a free 30-day trial to give you the opportunity to check out their awesome service. You can download some really great books like The Hobbit, the unabridged version from Tolkien. You can download Divergent, Lean In, lots of great stuff to check out. To download your free audiobook today, go to audibletrial.com/nerdupmedia. Again, that's audibletrial.com/nerdupmedia for your free audiobook.
That's this week for the Read Pile. Rick, who are we thanking?
Well, first and foremost, we do need to thank our newest friends, LazyNerdsDesigns.com. They are responsible for these swank Nerd Up Media schwags. So they are the ones who are producing this. When you get your own Nerd Up Media shirt, because obviously you're going to, it comes with a cool little Lazy Nerds Design logo. I think it's either going to be on the shoulder or like on the back of the shirt. It's really cute. It's a bulldog. It's a bulldog wearing nerd glasses. I thought it was adorable.
Nice.
Also, I would like to thank, on a more personal note, as you're aware, as we all know, I am the mayor of NXT. I have a sash, currently unwearing it, but it's because I only bust out for formal occasions, like going to NXT. A NXT wrestler who is proud of that fact, and proud of our show. We know Simon Gotch is a friend of ours. Well, Solomon Crowe, following us on Twitter, friend of the show, Solomon Crowe, doing his best to spread the good word of the Read Pile. And Mr. Crowe, we salute you and we thank you for all of your hard work and effort. We hope to see you real soon in the ring. You want?
Thank you.
Perfect. That is what we expect from the angry nerd girl Elle.
What? I'm sorry. I just keep thinking about Nightwing.
And McRibs.
And McRibs.
If Nightwing ate a McRib.
Oh my god, and there was just like sauce all over him.
Alright guys, that is enough for this week. Thanks for watching. What about the special sauce, Elle?
It is delicious.
Nightwing special sauce?
It is fantastic. I will take that sauce on